Welcome to today's Two True Stories and a CreepyPasta, where I tuck a moment, read my two friends, Rickshaw and Enough is Enough, two true stories and a CreepyPasta. Here we go. One night in about November, when the nights get really dark real fast, I was done posting Marines out on the gates and heading up to a far training area. I had my tree stand and camera at to go take a look to see if anything had been around. To get there, you had to drive about 30 minutes up on the road, and then another 15 minutes you would have hit a long dirt road that dissects that part of the base in half. And in this particular area, comms always sucked. So you're pretty much out on your own. I parked my Durango on the offshoot and grabbed my flashlight and started off heading into the creek bottom about a mile or so off the road. I've done this a ton of times, so I've gotten there pretty fast. Grabbed my chip out of my trail cam and hopped up in my stand to take a look at it and pass some time. Not even 5 minutes into flipping through the pictures of some turkey that were hanging around, I hear something human walk through the woods about 30 yards in front of me. Now this is in the middle of the night on a training base, so if a lost LT doing nightland navigation isn't out of the question. So I thought I'd get the chance to fuck with him or her. I closed my laptop and I turned my flashlight off and tried to see if I could see where they were. I hear it walk closer and closer and stop about 20 yards in front of me, and I could make out an outline of what looked like a deer, which was kind of disappointing. So I stayed and watched where he was heading so I wouldn't spook him. All of a sudden it started bashing its head against a tree over and over and over until its entire skull cap was crushed and it was leaking blood and brain matter. Now, what would be your guys' first reaction to that?
Enough you smash your head on trees, don't you?
I've heard of that, yeah. Enough, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Until brain matter comes out, yeah?
What?
No.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Well, when
Does it leak?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't leak.
Okay, can I ask you a question then, right? If you're this guy who's, in this place at this time of night, and you see what you think is a deer smashing its head on a tree, what do you do?
Carry on walking, I guess.
Are you gonna walk past it?
Yeah.
You're not gonna help it, or I don't know. You can't really do much, but
No, probably headbutt me.
that's true actually.
Yeah.
That's good observation.
Yeah, I would think it's like
Yeah.
sick or something. I would not want to fuck with it at all.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, I think it's dead actually, and the brain matter's coming out. So.
Yeah, but if it's
Probably
still
not really much you
moving
can do.
after that, then I don't know.
Probably needs a rest.
Yeah. Then this thing stood up on its hind legs and turned towards me as though it was staring at me, even with its eyes being useless.
This one's got to be the creepypasta.
No, it's not. It isn't. It isn't.
How this works?
No, it's not. I told you, this isn't a guessing game. It's not a guessing game.
That's so perfect. It's got to be the creepypasta.
It's got to be. I'm telling you. No, it's not. It's not
It
enough.
must be though.
It's not.
There's brain
Why,
matter
because-
leaking out, and it's back alive.
And it's back on its
on
feet.
its
Yeah, that is a
feet.
good point. Yeah, that's a bit ridiculous. You
Yeah.
bash your head on a wall once, you've knocked out. You feel dizzy. This deer, right? He was probably smashing it on a rock hard tree. You know, there's probably bark and all sorts of stuff coming off the
Yeah, a
tree.
bark hard tree, not a rock hard tree. That'd be a little bit silly.
Well, okay. Well, maybe I was over exaggerating, but cheers for the lenience with that. It's and it just turns around. It's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah. This thing stood up on its hind legs and towards me as though it was staring directly at me with its eyes being useless. It said in the clearest tone I've ever heard in my entire life, "I know you're there."
What?
Yeah, it said that.
Well, the deer said that.
Yeah, that's what he believes.
He lived to tell the tale, apparently.
Yeah.
He obviously didn't know he was there then, didn't he?
What? No, the
I
man.
think he
lived
thought
to
he was a
tell.
tree.
No, he thought it was the. Yeah, no, you heard the deer talk. You heard the deer, the buck.
Yeah, but you think the deer thought it was a tree? But he wouldn't say you, would he? So...
Maybe.
Unless he's stupid. Unless he's like a stupid deer.
I don't know. I've
Do you think
never.
there's like species of deer, that are less intelligent?
He couldn't have thought it was a person. Must have thought it was like a car at like 70 miles per hour if it's staring at it.
Why did it say "I know you're there"?
Yeah, that's like the main thing.
Why would you talk to a car that's going 70 miles per hour? Do you ever just go to like the motorway or the highway and go, "I know you're there"?
Yeah, but
as they zoom past you.
It's the deer talking. It's not the dude.
Deers can't speak English.
Do you think deers have like deer dialect? They sort of speak a bit differently. They speak English, but they just speak it a bit differently.
I don't know.
Do you think like they, maybe he speaks English because he's bashed his head so hard? That's a good possibility.
That's true. I mean, the saying, "Does the bear shit in the woods?" or something. I don't know. I don't know the saying at all.
Does the bear? What was it that? Does the bear shit in the woods?
I don't know what it is.
Does
I
the
know
bear?
that a deer bashed his head on a tree in the woods.
Yeah.
Oh, I
You
think.
on the woods, should I say.
Do you think people can improve their linguistic skills by bashing their heads on trees?
No, but they could do homework.
What does that mean?
Well,
what does
I
that
think none of
actually
us
mean?
want to do homework. They can do homework. That's a good way of increasing your linguistic skills.
Getting-
Bashing your head on a tree is well, that hurts.
Yeah. Anyways.
Anyway,
Unless you use your antlers like a deer.
well, how would that work? There's brain matter in blood. What?
You must have missed.
Really, like, what is he talking about? Right, there's no way this happened.
Must be the creepypasta then.
It's not.
No, it's not. It's a true story,
this
but
is
it's
a
obviously
true
not
story.
true. It's supposedly true. This guy was supposedly late at night, and this deer who's bashing his head on a tree now talks. This guy must be high or something.
This guy
There's no way
is
in hell.
a military police because he works on an army training base.
Oh, so he's bored. He's bored then, isn't he? He's military police. He's
Yeah.
not even military. He's military police. Nothing ever happens. Or maybe you have to write up someone or something.
Oh,
He's just
actually, something
bored,
very interesting has happened here. A deer has been headbutting a tree,
Yeah.
and brain matter's coming out.
Finally, the military police have a story to tell. Oh, finally. Oh,
Then he
that was
just
about
spices
time,
it up a little bit, over
No,
exaggerates it.
he's made it up. He's made it up because there's nothing else to do.
Oh, that's
Because he
true,
sits
yeah.
there. You know what I mean? You get me? That's what I think.
100%.
This guy, the deer talked to him. That's ridiculous. The
Mhm.
deer has severe brain damage now,
Yeah,
and probably has lost function of everything. Probably
yeah.
Talk English though.
it can talk English though, so that's
That's
that's a good trade-off.
I mean,
Very good trade-off. Maybe I'll learn German.
yeah, just by
Bash my head on a
smashing my
couch or
head with a brick.
Yeah, maybe an uppercut, a bit of French.
Mm-hmm.
Never know.
My stomach hit the floor. I was too frozen in fear to even draw my pistol, and as quickly as I walked in to get back on all fours and walk away, I waited about 10 minutes shaking like a damn leaf before I hauled my ass out of there and got back to my patrol car and grabbed my shotgun and sat in the lit parking lot of the MCX the rest of the night. It took about a month before I had the balls to go back out and grab my laptop and shit from there. And I went with a friend who I didn't tell what happened, but I told him to bring his long gun as well. When I got there, I grabbed my stuff and looked towards where I thought it was at, and the tree was busted with splinters everywhere, and what looked like blood and bones scattered on the ground. Needless to say, I don't go out checking stuff in the middle of the night anymore, and I hunt on the complete opposite side of the base. Anytime I need to go by there, I always take a shotgun in condition 1 now. I told my Navajo grandpa about it, and he told me
Laughed in his face.
yeah, I laughed at him. Actually, no, it's the
Yeah.
opposite, because they believe in all that kind of stuff.
Well, you know, I don't really know much about the area, so I don't really know, what the superstition or the, spiritual side of that. I don't think there's any spiritual or superstitious side of bashing your head on a tree and then talking to someone.
Mm-hmm.
That is,
Oh, I do.
okay. It'll be good to
Enlighten
hear it.
us, please.
Yeah.
It's just an old folk story by a military policeman.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow, I'm enlightened.
Is that it? Yeah, I thought you were gonna tell us how it's spiritual or superstitious, but is that actually just a story?
Story of the military policeman in the woods.
Okay.
Okay, that's funny because you just said the same thing again, just to tell me. But yeah, I mean that seems like it's maybe he got confused. Maybe he thought it was a river, or maybe he thought there was a, it's like a video game. You hit the train or an apple falls or something, but instead of bumping up against it, he just hit his head on it a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're getting confused.
I told my
Yeah.
Navajo grandpa about it, and he told me to not speak of it. It freaked me out, and I just don't get creeped out easily. It really messed me up. I don't even go into the woods anymore. So that's a story about it's about skinwalkers. So that's huge in Navajo folklore.
Why is Skinwalker such a funny name?
It's
It is.
hilarious. Yeah, Skinwalker.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, they're obviously in cahoots, aren't they? The grandpa. The grandpa's the deer. I'm telling you. The grandpa
I mean,
was
he
getting a bit
could
zesty.
be if he's a
The-
medicine man. That's what they
The
believe.
grandpa was getting zesty with a tree, right? He turns around and sees his grandson, and he gets a dose of senileness. That's a word. And says, "I know who you are," and then Skin walks away.
I know you're there.
That's a-
Proceeds to just bolt.
They speak the same language as him as well. The grandpa spoke English, just like
Yeah.
the deer.
Yeah.
Well, they are in America, so
That's
Oh,
not
Americans
true.
do
I've
in
met
America.
tons of people that don't speak English in America.
I won't say anything after that.
Will you not speak of it, just like the grandpa said?
Yeah.
I think there's a good chance you're a skinwalker, to be honest enough. It's a good possibility.
I'd believe
Yeah.
it.
Probably.
But still, I'd rather speak to you than a bear. A bear? A deer?
Fucking Elkie.
Oh my god, that was shocking, that, isn't it? I'd rather speak to a deer that smashes its head on a tree than a beer that smashes down your throat. So yeah, that was shocking. That was a beer. Oh, anyway, next story.
Yeah, this one is interesting, or not. I don't know. I'm just gonna say it is.
Well, the last one had me captivated.
Well, yeah, it wasn't exactly theatrical.
No.
I liked it.
Days off the school and go to California for Universal
He's
Studios.
just gonna get like sexual or something.
Oh, why
does your
why
brain
does
go
that make you
there?
think that?
Why does
Because
your
they're like,
brain go
okay,
there?
it's like, oh, I'm 15, they're 15, so don't call us paedophiles. That's
Yeah,
what they're saying.
No, because they both said their age, and then they said that they're friends, and they were going someplace. To be honest, I have
Friends with
seen this
benefits.
happen with tickle fights. You know,
Yes,
we've seen this happen.
we have definitely
so
seen this happen.
maybe right enough. Keep your mind open.
Yeah.
I don't keep it open, I
Bit of
keep it
wisdom
outside the
there.
box.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
Good.
But do you keep it open and outside the box?
No point if it's already outside the box, isn't there?
But wouldn't you want your mind to be open when it's outside the box to then get the full benefits of being outside the box, because then your mind's open. If your mind's closed off and it's outside the box, then your mind can't reap the reward.
You don't understand the metaphor.
I do understand the metaphor.
You don't.
I do. Thinking outside of the box is thinking in a different way than normal. Keeping your mind open is letting your mind, you know, accept every single possibility that, you know, or be accepting of every possibility that there is, or every, you know, every sort of reality that there is, you know.
Keeping your mind open is like having your mind in the box, but leaving the flaps open.
You ever think about the FNAF 4 box?
Shut up!
Sorry.
Shut up!
Sorry.
That's
Probably got
so
like a
dumb.
Golden Freddy jump scare in it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Golden Freddy.
Does, yeah. It's probably something
Golden Freddy.
rubbish.
No,
Golden Freddy.
no,
Oh, yeah,
No.
it's me.
it's me. Sometimes, whatever the box says, isn't it? The box sometimes things aren't meant to be open.
Yeah.
There
Sometimes
must be
things that get
Golden
best kept
Freddy's
locked
true
away.
identity.
Yeah. It's just enough is enough. It's got like your driver's license picture or something like that.
It's just a passport, driver's license.
Yeah, with the provisional.
What, are you driving without a license now?
I just said provisional.
What?
What does that mean?
Provisional license.
What are you eating? What was that noise?
Yeah, I'm eating.
Nice.
What are you eating?
Avocados.
Who?
Avocados.
What's that?
Bacardi?
Americans call them pockies.
Poppies? That's a flower.
No,
Pocky?
pockies.
Pocky.
Oh,
What's that?
they're like from Japan.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, they call avocados here.
Oh, how exotic. Why can't you just eat like an apple?
Already
An
have had
apple a
apple
day
today.
keeps your doctor away, probably.
Already have had that. I don't need another apple. Already had one. Had it at lunch.
Have you really? That's cool, that's cool.
Who the
Does it
fuck
keep the doctor
cares?
away?
Hmm?
Does it keep the doctor away? Imagine having an apple while you're seeing a doctor.
I think they would be scared and they would run away.
I don't think they would. I think they'd say, why have you brought an apple into my practice? Please leave now. Probably.
Okay. Would
Yeah.
they?
Probably. I don't know. It's a bit, you know, what if someone's
Depends on what you're doing with the apple, I suppose.
like scared of apples? Yeah, you never know.
An innate fear of apples? I've never heard of such a thing.
Well,
And normally
you know.
really fat.
yeah, yeah, that seems like a running theme with people who are scared of fruit. To be honest,
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, and
just.
You never
vegetable.
s-
I can't
if
do
you
it.
fear fruit, you know, your chin probably rests on a table. You know,
Your chin
When you eat.
rests on a table? What does that mean?
well, it keeps your head up, wouldn't it? Yeah, when you eat,
Okay.
it's a support, isn't it? You know, it's like a beam. It's like a little pillar for your head.
Okay.
That's the innate point, you know.
Should we
That's
continue?
what I'd use it for,
Should we
I don't.
continue?
We can.
Okay.
Chin resting on the table.
That's one of the weirdest things I've ever heard
So
in my
fucking fat.
Yeah, that's next level,
Fuck
isn't it?
me.
That is next level.
Anything keeping their hands up was their arms up was the knife and fork in both their hands.
Yeah, yeah. It's like they've like stabbed it into the table just to keep their hands on the table.
Oh, this one must
Oh.
be the creepypasta.
It's it's not.
I think that
It's-
one would be.
Uh
We should make a creepypasta about a person who rests a chin on a
oh,
table.
we
No,
should.
we should make a true story about it.
That's even better, actually. Yeah. One day, I walked into a McDonald's, and guess what I fucking saw?
True stories are faker than the creepypastas.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
All
Based on
right.
the true creepypasta.
Dad, I saw a skinwalker. Shut up. like,
Shut
come
the
on.
fuck up.
Was it?
Granddad.
I sure it wasn't your granddad speaking English.
Yeah. Granddad, I saw a deer, but he had your socks on. Let's stop talking about it now. It's like you didn't even acknowledge it. Well, it's not something we talk about.
Yeah, no. He
Granddad's a full-time skinwalker.
It's his job. He's
Would he
Granddad
gets
probably
wood?
uses his chin to support his head when he eats. Granddad probably eats with his mouth open, to be honest.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was he
Not
chewing
like
with his tongue?
No, not like he chews with his mouth. No, he fully just eats, like gnashing
Ew.
at his food.
That's gross.
He's
I
a
don't like
skinwalker,
that.
isn't he? He's probably got head wounds from the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He can't
Can I
watch
sh-
me because his eye bags just cover his mouth.
Ew. What?
Yeah. Oh wow, that's even better. So the chin that supports the head on the table, and then the eye bags which cover the mouth, they're like anti-eating. But he has a special remedy for that. He puts like Mr. Bean style. He puts
He closes his
little
eyes, just lifts
toothpicks.
the eye bags up high enough to like show the mouth again.
He puts toothpicks in his eyes, right? That keeps his eyes open, right? And then he pours pepper in his eyes, and then his eye bags they get tight because the eyes are so irritated.
Now that is based on a true creepypasta.
Yeah, now that is
There's no
something
such
I saw
thing.
last month.
There's actually no such thing.
That is my Uncle Roger. No, but that's
All right.
yeah. Can I ask you a question, enough? Just before we go back, if you were a skinwalker, what would your daily routine be?
Brush my head on the tree and
Well,
pretend to be
Obviously.
granddads speaking English.
yeah.
I mean, they
But if you
do. They
really,
do that.
If you really wanted to take advantage of this gift, what would be your skinwalking routine? It can be anything, like human, animal, whatever.
Just see how quick I can run.
That's it. Okay.
So wait, you can look like anyone in the world,
He just
and you
wants
want to go
know.
jogging. You want to go jogging, right? Why? Why would you? Right, you got these powers, and you go, wow, I could look like the most beautiful people in the world. I want to go for a jog.
I just wanna run.
Now that is commitment to the run.
I can just chase after people, can't I? Like, oh my god, look, there's a skinwalker. I'm just like, no, I'm not a skinwalker.
I'm an Olympic runner, actually. Oh, don't worry, I just need to bash my head on this tree. Boom, 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 boom. Back to running now.
No, I'm not a skinwalker. I'm just a granddad who speaks English and can also run really quickly.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you saw an
Not
old
a
person running,
skinwalker.
you'd be like, how long is he going to take before he falls down? And also, how
He
did
can't fall down. He's got a
fall?
walking
Is he-
stick.
He can't fall down because he's got a walking stick.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they're made for.
Yeah, but he's old, isn't he? Senile.
Yeah.
You know what they do there? They have a walking stick in the right hand and then they fall on the left hand. Like, oh, where's your walking stick? It was in your right hand. Oh, sorry.
That makes sense.
Like,
That's why
Maybe
they
you
have
need to give
walkers.
them two walking sticks.
Well, that's what a
Yeah,
walker
that's very
is.
true.
That's what a walker
Yeah, but
is.
you know what they do then? You have a walker and then they fall backwards. So,
They need one of those like baby crib things. They just
find a
stick
way.
them in
Yeah,
the
they
middle,
do.
and then
Yeah.
you just roll them around.
Yeah, but
like the fat
yeah,
guy
but you know
in
what they
B
do?
movie.
They get one of them and then they just roll off a cliff. That's what they do. They find a way. They find a way to hurt themselves.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, raucous.
What?
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 Anyway,
I don't think we're going to get an answer. So,
anyways,
anyway.
I live in Arizona and never been to California, but I had no problem with going to California. So my parents got, so I got
Is
my.
this the start?
Yes, yeah, it is.
Yeah. No, the
This is
start.
15-year-old.
Yeah, it's the 15-year-olds.
It's the teenagers.
Yeah.
Oh, for their adults.
No, me, the
You
story
really
of
are a
me.
skinwalker,
Okay,
to
whatever.
be honest.
Whatever. I got my parents' permission to go, and I spent about a day at his house because we would leave the next day, and it would make not a wasted day just wandering around a hotel or random place. So we take about a day to drive, and we make it. So we spend about a day there.
They're 15
Yeah, they're
to
15.
drive.
Yeah.
They turn themselves in.
What?
Yeah.
I've been to drive at
Holding the
15.
car at 15. That's ridiculous. They drive at 15. Yeah, we only drive at 17.
Yeah, no, that's why America has so many accidents and stuff.
That's ridiculous. 15
What?
years
They allow
of age.
people at 15 years of age. Well, you typically have to. So, you. How it kind of works, from my understanding, is at 15 you can get a permit, and you have to drive with someone who's 21 years old that has like a driver's license. You have to drive with them for like 500 hours, and then you can get your driver's license yourself.
Do they have to have
Wait,
that
do
driver
you not
license
need
for
to do a
3
lesson?
years?
Wait, do you not need to do a test though?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, okay.
It's a written test.
Oh, is that it? Well, they don't do an actual evaluation on the road.
They do when you get your license.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But wait, but can you just get your license and say I've already took the test?
What?
What?
No.
Well, couldn't you do that in any country?
No, what you said? You get your license when you pass the written test.
No, no, no. You
Does-
no,
no,
you
but
get your permit.
he said that you got to do the.
You get your permit when you do the
evaluation.
written test. Then you have to do an
Yeah.
evaluation to get your license.
Should have said
Yeah.
so.
I did.
You didn't.
Sorry.
He did. He did. You are the skinwalker.
Yeah.
Rather skinwalk than have a permit for driving at 15 in Arizona.
It's okay.
I'd rather have a permit in Arizona than have a chin that I have to use to rest my head on a table.
That's true.
that is ridiculous.
That's the stupidest bit I've ever pictured in my head.
It's stupid, isn't it? You imagine it though. I imagine it as a block, just a block of fat right under your chin, bosh, right on the table. It's like a support beam,
That's gross.
It's like a support beam.
It's really gross.
It's fantastic. That's what it really is. It's human. Humans evolving. Because look, we used to hunt, we used to gather.
That's
Now we
devolving.
sit in McDonald's with our heads on the table. Imagine you're in McDonald's and they put a table right in front of the ordering place, right? And you're just the guy is just sitting looking at them all behind the tills, and he's just got his head laying on the table with his big support beam, fat chin, right? And he's just sitting there with both hands with the cutlery, and he's like, "Hey, where's my Big Mac and chicken nuggets?"
How is he
He's just
talking
sat
if he's
there.
resting his shit on the table?
Yeah, but he's talking like this. He's going, "Where's my
Yeah, you
Big
can still
Mac
talk
and
like
chicken
that.
nuggets?"
Still
Yeah,
talk.
but it's like he can tiny bit open his mouth. He's
Yeah.
Well,
because that's how he gets the food in. That's how he gets the food in. And then
What
and
time
then
would he punch him in the chin?
yeah, and he's got an assistant, and then they bring him his cigar, and he goes, and he starts eating that, and they go, no, you don't eat it. You smoke, you puff on it, No, you don't eat it. You don't do that. And then he starts banging on the table with his cutlery like a baby, with a big
People like
sport
that are
beam.
so funny to me, not the people who have their head at the same level as plates, and just and they just scoop it into their mouth instead of like lifting it up. They
Ew,
just scoop
that's
it.
gross.
Are you talking about midgets or really fat people?
Fat people bending over while sitting down at a table.
Well, do you know what makes me laugh? Is fat people with like really bad hunchbacks.
That's what I was talking about.
I have nothing against overweight people. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, right? Okay, well there is. There's,
As long as you don't complain about it, I don't mind.
well, you should try and look to get healthy, but
Mhm.
As long as I don't complain about being fat, I don't care.
well, yeah, I agree with that.
'Cause it's
if
your
they don't
fault.
start, yeah, it is, yeah.
So don't
So-
complain about it.
What makes me laugh though is you're walking through like a city centre or whatever, and you just see this woman. I used to have a supply teacher, right, who she used to walk right? And she used to have like a square, but it was a fat head. It was like a chubby square head, right? And her head would be level with like her elbows.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was one of the worst hunchbacks I've ever seen because it wasn't a hunchback, it was a 90-degree turn.
Sure,
So,
Nick wasn't coming out of our breasts.
well, I think there's many questions been asked because, I remember, right, one day she came in and she said, I stopped biting my fingernails when I was 17. This class has made me bite my fingernails at 23. And I went, how have you made it this far? I actually said it out loud. I said, how have you made it this far? You're at a 90-degree angle. You bite your fingernails at 23 because of a class. Why are you a teacher? You should be at McDonald's with your head on the table with a big support beam. But I love that image. We got to make something like that. That's a creepypasta of our own, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
Chungles.
A funny pasta.
That's
No,
what like crappy pastas are.
Scrumptious pasta.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's up for consideration.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So they're driving on this road. So I look out the window and I see a figure about 5, 6, maybe 7 feet tall, skinny. Looks like a coyote, but really sick looking, just crouching behind a bush or something. But I do know it started poking its head out. What? You good?
Yeah, meet me.
Something.
Yeah, meet near the road when I go.
Beep, beep. Yeah.
It started.
What was that? 6'7" to 7-foot person they saw.
It's a coyote. It's a coyote.
What? Okay, right. Okay, Skinwalker again, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, running
Oh.
theme.
That must be a true story then.
I do know it started poking its head out, looking at me, but it looked like it had little to no ears on it, which kind of caught me off guard.
It had Skinwalker is.
Yeah, off guard. And it had white eyes, like undead zombie white eyes.
Like Herobrine.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Yeah.
The creepypasta.
Yes. The Minecraft magician.
If we start talking about Herobrine, I'll know that one's the creepypasta.
Yeah, I think I would too. Is Herobrine a true story? Well, he's in the patch notes.
That's true. He is in the patch notes.
He's in the patch notes.
Something happened that made it turn its head, and I saw that it had sunken in eyes and had a patch of skin, I guess you can call it, but the skin was more deep flesh with a small amount of skin. But what to me was visible was black or brown with hairs that looked fake and matted down fur on its face.
Is he talking about the fucking buffalo?
No, he's talking about the coyote. Coyote.
Sounds like when the description of the buffalo in the Buffalo book.
That's really obscure.
Never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, that was
Never read the Buffalo.
Never heard of the buffalo, no.
Classic. Well, that made me think, right? So as humans, you walk, let's say again, through a city,
Okay.
and you look around, and you may see someone who's very pale, very thin,
Mm-hmm.
maybe with scabs on their face, crackhead,
Yeah, I immediately
Loves his
think
crack.
drugs.
Right. You look at a coyote, but you don't say crack, do you? Why not?
I don't even know how to answer that question.
Do you look at a coyote and say that's crack?
What's crack?
Never mind.
Never mind.
Never mind.
What's crack? Oh god.
I mean, I know what it is, but like, what is the crack?
No, the coyote is on crack.
Yeah, that's what he's implying.
Why does no one ever think that?
I think I was wrong about the Buffalo book. I think it has a different name.
Whatever. Shut up, man. Man is
Oh
in
my
his own
God.
world.
Oh my lord.
Matted down fur on its face, and its neck looked like it had a gunshot hole. Hanging down from it was a rotting piece of flesh hanging down. They said hanging down twice. What a typo.
Well,
God, he must
Been
suck in
hanging out
Minecraft
then.
to have rotten flesh.
Well, again, crackhead, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe crocodile. You know, you ever heard of that drug? It's crazy. Rot your whole arm off.
Goodness.
Yeah, well, a lot of Russians are taking it, you know?
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Crazy.
And
Coyotes too, I think.
Coyotes too.
Yeah, well, you know, I wouldn't hold it against them,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
And cheeks were torn and rotting as well, with blood on its bottom jaw and top jaw, I think. And only like maybe 10 teeth. Some were slightly damaged.
Why
But
do they count that?
yeah, that's a weird thing to. It's like I remember a thing I saw far away with 10 teeth.
Must be some pearly whites.
It's crackhead coyote with some pearly whites.
Never heard of such a thing.
Was it the coyote they were talking about, or is this something different? With the pearly whites.
He's talking about the coyote. This is the
It is
coyote.
the coyote.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Right. Okay. I understand.
Damage.
That's It's always specific though, isn't it? You know, with numbers in these stories because they're not true.
Yeah.
You know, there's no way this story is true again.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
CreepyPasta then.
It's not.
Well-
it's supposedly true.
It's supposedly true, yeah, and that's all that matters really. But
Yeah.
you know,
Damage almost entirely missing. Most were either slightly covered somewhat in blood, but this creature stood up and slowly looked at me. While doing so, without moving an inch, it walked. Well, first off, that's just total contradiction.
well,
Yeah.
I've got to say also, you know, just think about what he's saying right now. The skin peeling off these dogs, you know, they look like they're on cocaine.
Mhm.
It sounds like something out of Mad Max. They're in
Yes.
fucking Arizona, you know. It's like, come on, man, you know.
Yeah, Mad Max was a movie.
That's true.
Well, that is spot on, you know.
Good job.
That's what I was getting at, to be honest. Is that it sounds like it's something out of Mad Max, and Mad Max was a movie. So what I'm saying is, right, the what they're saying that this was real sounds
film
like it's
directors.
something out of the what?
The film directors.
Well, you know, you're starting to develop a skill that I perfected. You've got to piece all these things together, you know. Film
Yeah,
directors,
Mad Max, definitely.
15-year-old film directors who can drive cars, you know. They're obviously hyper intelligent or whatever, hyper intelligent. But you know, they're film directors, and the other guy is I don't even a fucking military police. I don't know how you even link these together, you know. But the last one, it was quite easy. This one, this is fucked up because it's like military police, deer bashing its head on a tree, and then you have two kids see dogs that look like it's out of a zombie game
Yeah.
or movie.
It's like
You know?
7 Days to Die when you stumble across. little
Yeah.
zombies.
It's ridiculous, you know. There's
Oh, my
no...
hairs are raised.
I've got goose
Whoa,
pimples
edge of
all
the
over
seat.
me.
edge of the seat, you know, material.
It walked.
Yeah, I
in-
was fucking falling off.
I think he was already doing that, to be honest.
If you hear a bump, you know what's happened.
Imagine hitting a bump and your chin being on the dashboard like that fat fella.
What? What the fuck ever, man.
You'd be,
Do you think it would absorb the impact, or do you think it would go straight through to his teeth and he'd go diddy? You know, he's like jaw.
break
and
his
down.
neck because all the weight.
What neck? It's all chin.
Well, haven't they got like 20 necks?
Well, if you break one, it's not much, is it?
Also,
You
when
got
they say
19
like
backups,
double
isn't it?
chin, he doesn't actually have two chins.
Well, you don't know that.
Where's the
That's
second
true.
one come from then?
That's
It's
very
like- it's just
true.
a
That
roll.
is these.
They can't do
It's
it.
not a roll though. It's another life form. You know, it's another support beam.
There's a skinwalker neck
It's
flap.
It's like
True story.
scaffolding. You know, it's like scaffolding keeping this big, oversized building up at the chin for some reason. I don't really know why you'd need support there, but you know,
Okay.
McDonald's.
We're almost done with this. We're almost done.
Mm.
Oh.
Then we'll carry on.
Well, nice to see the climax of this story.
Yeah. Walked in almost a straight path, and I tried to sleep like everyone else, but couldn't. Feeling more paranoid, so I stayed up watching YouTube, and I have not spoken to anyone else about this since this happened. I think on the 9th of this month I may just talk to my friend about it. That was quite the tale.
Imagine seeing zombie dogs and then just thinking, "Oh fuck, I gotta watch Mr. Beast."
I need to get my mind
What
on
a way
this.
to deal with it. Oh, that
What'd
is.
you think
that
of
is
that
shocking.
one? Enough? They just go for a drive and they see a zombie dog. That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
I should be listening to these before going to bed.
you shouldn't.
No.
No, because they are fucking spooky. But you know, I think this story is true. I do. I think the 15-year-olds, possibly 16, maybe 17 now, maybe even still 15, over exaggerating about dogs.
Yeah.
You know, oh, it's zombie dogs. It's probably a dog with like an illness where some of its skin droops.
Yeah,
you know?
but it
Or like
stood
maybe
up
like
at
an
the
infection
end.
or something. You know,
Did it?
it probably wasn't even a coyote. It was probably someone's fucking pit bull called Princess. You know, I love that pit bull called Princess. But you know, I think that that one is an exaggeration. I think the other one is a load of bollocks. I think that guy is really bored with what he's doing.
Well, in
you know?
this one, in this one, the coyote also stood up, like in the last one.
Well, again, but I think that's part of the exaggeration. I think the military police guy, probably saw a deer in the road and thought, "Oh, I could say that deer is fucking mental," you know, some stupid shit like that. Um, I think because you got to think about military police, they don't really do much because you know, in the military, there's crime, you get written up, you know, thrown in jail or whatever, and then you get sent off, you straight out, you know, with whatever you do. So I wouldn't say he gets much stories, you know. So that's my verdict for those two. Anyway, onto the creepypasta.
You excited for the creepypasta? This may go
A
wild.
what?
Your britches? Your pants?
Hold on to your dreams enough,
Yeah, hold on to them.
because they might become
Please.
nightmares.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I
Enough
hold
you
on
might-
to them, they're going to turn to nightmares. Should I just let them go?
Or wouldn't you want them close to you? Because then maybe if they're close to you, you can protect them from becoming nightmares.
Maybe if I flex hard
Imagine-
enough.
Imagine if you fall asleep and you start dreaming about that guy with the chin. Wouldn't that be hilarious?
No.
Why?
No.
I think that was hilarious,
No.
you know?
Not at all.
No, I'd have to like steam clean all the piss soaked like mattress.
Why is he that scary? Like maybe that's a good creepypasta then, because that's, you know, oh,
Chin
fella with a
supported
big
man.
chin, yeah, he eats a whole restaurant, and then the employees, you know, oh, then the
And
table.
and then his chin got longer.
Do you know how I would do that story? I would say like I'd be like a woman waitress, and it would be like, and I served him his meal, and I went away, and I looked from the kitchen, and he's finished his meal, the plate dry and even now dry from the minutes it's been sitting there, and I look over to my left, and he's chewing the table.
Oh my god.
And his chin
I must
is
get
even
his
longer.
next meal. And his chin is even longer. Yeah, it's like fuel. It's like rocket fuel. It's like they keep on, you know, stacking it up, and it just gets, you know, gets bigger and bigger. You know, that is his fuel tank for the sex machine. So, as a great man once said, so you know.
All right. The drifter had been walking all day, and he was on the lookout for a place to bed down for the night. That is easier said than done due to the fact that he likes to travel to sketchy. Oh, not sketchy, sorry. He likes to travel strictly by back roads, for reasons only he really knows. He was tall with black hair and dark, leather like skin. He certainly looked the part of someone who spends most of his life exposed to the elements. Everything he owns is in a ratty old backpack that he had had for years. But he was happy. He answers to no one, and after a couple of years of walking the backcountry, he has seen some incredible scenery and met some very interesting people.
Got you. Sorry. Do you want to start that story again? Sorry, because
No, that's okay. Should we tell him to not come in here?
no, I timed him out for 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
He got absolutely smashed when he came in here. Oh,
It's okay.
God.
I can keep on going. I
He was
wasn't
drinking vodka
interrupted.
and coke.
I wasn't interrupted.
Yeah, we can continue them.
Okay. So he had met some
Shall we begin?
he met some very.
Why do you say it like that? Why? Well, it's not that deep, bro.
Okay.
Well, the neck is. The neck is. Sorry, go on.
He isn't sure how far he had walked today, but he is feeling like he is very close to the Louisiana state line. He's excited about that because Louisiana is the one state he's never been to before. Sometime tomorrow he won't be able to say that anymore. Right now, however, as night time approaches, he needs to find a place to rest for a while. He likes to be off the road by dark. He has seen some close calls with drivers not seeing him, even on these back roads and 2 tracks. He doubts very much he will be able to have a roof over his head tonight. He is too far out in the backwoods for that to happen. Best he can hope for is an old barn or something that he can hotel in for the night. It is almost full on dark now, and a good place to stack down has not presented itself yet. This could end up being one of those nights where he ends up sleeping with his back to a tree. Oh well, it could be worse. Suddenly, as he walked along the side of the road, he stepped in something wet, squishy, and gross. It was just dark enough that he didn't see it coming. Whatever it was, he had stepped in the square middle of it and almost fell as his foot went skidding to the side. What the hell? Yeah?
Right. That is dog shit. Because the only time you step in something and your foot goes skidding to the side is dog shit, right?
Or any kind.
Well, dog shit.
Yes.
Someone's dog, right? Someone has not picked up the dog shit and he's stepped in it and he's gone skidding, which is quite funny. It's quite hilarious. That's the only time you ever go skidding, right? Is when you step in dog shit.
Mm.
And then he looks at his shoe and says, "What a load of shit."
Yeah, he does. Yeah, that's spot on.
What the hell
A
is...
load of dog shit is what he really says.
Yes.
But yeah.
I can...
Sorry.
He says, he smells it, goes, "What a load of dog shit."
Yeah, like he's implying it's dog shit.
It must be dog shit. His eye slid that way.
I bet he takes off his shoe, he puts it right up to his face. It's like it's literally touching his cheeks and smearing his cheeks. And he's going, "It is dog shit," and then puts it right back on his foot and starts walking again.
Goodness.
Like nothing happened. But you know what he does after that though? Because everyone does this when they step in dog shit. They go on the ground, just skidding on the ground, just trying to get as much off as you can. Well, it's in the grooves.
Yeah.
So there's no chance of that.
Yeah, we get like a really tiny flathead screwdriver and just.
Or like a tiny stick, tiny
just-
stick, and just yeah. It's the worst, that is.
Or you just don't step in it.
That's true.
Look where you're
Well,
going.
yeah.
doesn't
That's
see
the
where he's
he
going.
couldn't. He couldn't.
Well,
You know?
why would he go there then?
Well,
He's
I
just
mean,
walking.
I think
I think you
we're
just use his
starting to
Apple
question.
iPhone torch.
Why can't he just settle down with a family in a city or a town or a village or not? You know, it's lovely adventuring the world in your 20s, but this guy's an old fella now. He needs to get, he needs to get in a home and stop
Wait, how old is he?
dog shit. I don't know. How old is
Um, it just says he's a drifter.
That's pretty tough.
he? Oh, that's
No, not
hilarious.
like that.
He's
He's a
he's also
drifter.
he's also a
A
skidder now.
drifter. Yeah. It looks like he's spinning out after skidding in that dog shit.
Yeah.
So, do you think that would, you'd lose grip in one of the tires if you were to go over dog shit? Do you think it would
No.
decrease traction?
Depends on how much there is of it.
But think about the circumference of the tire, though. Do you think that takes up
I mean,
enough amount to?
if the shit gets level with the tread, then yeah, you're gonna skid out.
Yeah.
This is so
But how much
dumb.
of a difference do you think that would make because it's only one wheel slash tire?
Well, but still, depends. If you go in a straight line, probably alright.
It depends whether you have all wheel or because I guess if
All will be alright.
all wheel, yeah, you would. And most all wheel cars, they have systems where, when the car, and especially new ones, when the car starts losing control, they recommend you put your foot down because it corrects itself. It will limit your throttle or, um, I wouldn't necessarily say put your foot down, but they say don't. The car is, because of traction control and stability control and stuff like that. But with older cars, and rear wheel,
Just gotta keep putting your foot down then.
yeah, maybe you should just, run over some skinwalkers.
Well, old people who speak English.
Grandpa, who doesn't want to talk about it. Imagine if you drove up to a McDonald's window. Oh my god, it's time adds up. Imagine if, right? 1 second, let me just 1 hour. But imagine if you drove up to a drive-through window and you were talking to the person asking for your food, and you just peek over behind them. You see this massive chin. Well, it wasn't a chin though. It's just a block of skin. It's like a support beam.
What the fuck?
So yeah. Anyway, it's a strange thought, but it's a thought-provoking thought. Anyway.
Alright, he goes on. What the hell is that? He muttered to himself as he moved to get out of the middle of the disgusting pile. Upon closer inspection, he realized that it was an animal of some sort. It was fairly large in size, like a deer or a large dog. He couldn't really tell because not all of the pieces were there. This was not the case of an animal getting run over. This was the case of an animal getting torn apart. It was horrible, and to make matters worse, it had not happened all that long ago. The blood was still wet, and it hadn't started to stink yet. This was a fresh kill. The drifter began to wonder what kind of animal might live in this part of the country that might be big enough to do this kind of damage to another fairly large animal.
Wait, who wrote the story?
Who wrote it?
Oh well, is the drifter writing this himself?
No, this is a creepypasta.
No, it's like third person. It's writing about the drifter.
Oh, right, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
This is a
Probably
creepypasta,
Roald Dahl
so
or
it's
someone
third.
like that.
Me, the
Oh,
drifter,
doll.
was looking around.
Hello, my name is Drifter.
What's up, drifter?
This one has to be the creepypasta.
It is. I already said it was. Said that
You
like
finally
5
got
times.
it. Oh, spot on. You finally got it enough.
It's third person, so it's got to be the
It's
creepypasta.
got
Yes,
to be.
yes, got to be. Well, strange people, I guess.
Were there bear around here? Wolves? Mountain lions? He had finally decided that it really didn't make much of a difference what it was. He just didn't want to meet up with it out here in the middle of nowhere. Time to keep moving and put some distance between himself and whatever might still be in the area. He walked for several minutes, nervously looking and listening for anything out of the ordinary. He never really noticed anything different, or noticed anything at all, but he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched and followed. He suddenly stopped a couple of times and stood still, trying to catch a stray sound or movement from anything that might be out there in the middle of the woods just a few yards from the road. He thought he heard something moving through the trees, but he wasn't sure. It sure was scaring the hell out of him, though. He thought of running.
He heard something, but he wasn't quite sure. But anyway, that wasn't necessary. You didn't need to put that in.
He thought of running, but he knew if he did that, that would just encourage whatever it was starting to chase him. He just kept a steady pace, becoming a little more hopeful with every step. Being so focused on getting out of there, the drifter didn't notice that the headlights of a vehicle were coming up behind him until just a short distance away. Finally, he realized that he wasn't alone out here, and he began feeling better about the situation.
Imagine if the end of this was him just getting run over.
Oh, that would be
Imagine
awesome.
him just looking around, and he's just like, oh, "What was that? What was that?" And he just gets run over at the end. It's like, what a retard, you know? It's a forest. Noises come out of forests. It's mostly birds, or I was gonna say lions. It was mostly birds,
and
or
lions.
badgers,
Yeah.
or maybe a bear, or maybe lions. You never know where you are.
Yeah.
And you just get run over because you're too fucking busy on making up your fucking creepypasta.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably a ram driver.
Probably a ram driver, yeah, because they want to ram it right up your ass, tailgate you, yeah.
He began feeling better about.
Enough. Sorry,
No.
I need to ask.
No,
this.
it's okay.
I need to ask
It's okay.
Enough.
Yeah.
He's so delayed.
I thought he was gonna just start talking.
No. I was okay. Right. Okay. Sorry. If you were writing a creepypasta, would how would you write it? Right. What would be the basic premise of it?
Well, I think a good setting would be the woods.
Okay. Classic. That's a
Right.
classic setup.
Okay.
Then I just noticed something. The reason why I'm walking in the woods is because don't really need to mention why, but I'm in the woods
Oh.
and just walking around and see something that looks like a deer or a dog or whatever,
God.
and it just looks ugly. It just looks ugly looking. I'm like,
Does it start up the tree? Does it? Is that what it's going to start doing?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I noticed that it's a bit like a giraffe and coyote hybrid.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's strange. And it turns around and I see a humongous chin scraping across the floor.
Wow, that
And
is
I just-
fantastic.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's poetic.
And then I just start running away, and I narrowly get away from the chinned coyote giraffe.
I think that's one of the funniest body parts to be massive, a chin.
Yeah.
And I don't think of it as like chubby. I just think of it as a massive square chin.
Mm-hmm.
You know
That's
what I mean?
what I immediately
Rock
think of.
solid. Yeah.
Chopping board.
Chopping board chin. Yeah. That is, this offers stability to the jawline. That's the sort of chin, but it's massive. It really does go down. It touches your belly button. You know what I mean? But that was really good when you said scraping across the floor. That's magic. I think if I was, if I was going to write a creepypasta, I'd put it somewhere like a McDonald's or something, It'd be called like Manuel's or something. And it'd be about a waitress that has the worst customer ever.
Just a
Right.
fat guy.
It's just that he goes in, right, but he doesn't walk in, right? He goes beep. That's That's the little electric motor,
Yeah,
right?
and his little
It's
Mario
it's a
Kart.
desk. It's a desk. It's a seat and a desk, and it's a little cart, right? And he's going in, but he has to like go sideways through the door, but it doesn't really work. So he's like doing a little like he's doing like 3 point turns just to get to the door, right? And he gets in, right? And then he doesn't drive to like one of the tables or the back of the store. He drives right up in front of the front desk, right?
Okay.
The place where you order your food, and he just sits there, right? And it's like it's not a distance away where it's uncomfortable. It's like personal, He's right in front of them,
Oh,
but a
okay.
bit of distance, right? Okay,
Yeah.
like he's waiting in line, and he just sits there and he starts tapping his cutlery. It's very slow. It's ding, 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 right? And then the manager goes up to the waitress and she goes, "Well, him, we know what he orders. We know what he wants. You know, go and get him a." and then she says it. She goes, "A double Big Mac, a 20-piece McNugget, a milkshake, a Coke, a medium Coke, a double Big Mac, a McRib," and it just goes on for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Just you know. And then when she finally gets it all, she's bringing it out in a cart. It's like a buffet cart, and he's going ding, 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 and it's indentations on where he's doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, um, um, what would you like first, sir? And he goes, and she goes, so she just chucks whatever on it, just like a Big Mac or something.
Yeah.
And he goes, and it's all gone, like instantly, He throws his knife and fork and he lobs it in his mouth. So he picks up his knife and it's gone. It goes in his mouth,
Okay.
right? And then, but what she notices as he throws it in his mouth, his jaw goes boom, and it hits the table because it goes down like it like falls down just to let even more in his mouth, like a Big Mac or something. And he does this repeatedly over like 5 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then once he's done, once everything's gone, he starts going dink, 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 dink. It's all over again. That's her purgatory now because she fat shamed someone on Twitter. Isn't that amazing?
It's something. Certainly something.
That's her purgatory because
Mm-hmm.
she fat shamed someone on Twitter.
Yeah.
So now she feeds a really fat person with a massive chin.
For until
Like
the
my
end of
Reddit
time.
karma.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm upvoting that
Like your
one, man.
CS:GO trust factor.
Take my CSGO trust factor.
They should rate you as a citizen on your CS:GO trust factor. I think
Basically, I will never fucking in combat, aren't I?
you're never gonna get a job again.
Never again.
No.
I
Oh, I would
retire with
like
my money
to.
over.
I'd take a loan out of £50. No, don't think you'll pay it back. But I'm literally just trying to get a £50 loan. You normally give out like 5 grand loans. No, I'm sorry. Dink, 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 dink. Yeah,
Then it's just the cycle that continues.
yeah. It's beautiful.
Mm.
Cycle of life or indigestion.
He began to feel better about his situation. Normally, the drifter didn't hitchhike, but this night he was shaken enough that flagging his vehicle down felt like it was the right thing to do. It turned out to be an old pickup truck, and it was driving very slowly down the middle of the road, and he could hear someone yelling something. A bit of his shakiness began to return. When the truck was almost upon him, he started waving his arms in an effort to get the truck to stop. The driver was so intent on yelling out the window, he almost didn't see the drifter until it was too late. The truck came to a stop and the passenger side window began a slow descent to allow the driver to talk to him. He was a grizzled old man in a filthy overalls and a t-shirt. He had an unkempt beard that was stained yellow from years of tobacco use. He wore a baseball cap so old that the emblem on front
What is up with these fucking creepypastas just roasting every single thing they see? They see a deer, they roast it. They see a dog, they roast it. They see an old man, they roast it.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Just roasted
Oh,
them.
and this guy saves the old man, but he has a stained beard due to tobacco abuse. It's like, give him a break. He's saving the guy, and you're saying, oh, and he's got a stinky beard. You know, it's like, oh, ridiculous.
His hair is shit. His cap is shit. His
He's got
hair is shit.
shitty overalls.
He definitely
His
smokes
clothes is
every
shit.
day.
Yeah. And his truck, it's a shitty old truck. And
Oh.
the window winds down slowly, not quickly, slowly. It's a wind it you down yourself window. It's not a very nice electric one. Hmm.
Baseball cap so old that the emblem on front was no longer legible. He certainly looked the part of someone who lived in the backwoods of
God.
Louisiana. This
Fuck
poor
yeah.
old man. This poor old man.
Just let the guy live. You know, you tearing this fella apart. Oh, he's fucking emblem's fallen off, and oh, he smokes, and oh, his window's shit. Oh, he's got dirty overalls because he actually works a job and doesn't just walk around places.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, drifts around everywhere.
But no, but the old guy works. The drifter doesn't. But the drifter's judging him, you know?
Yeah, he's a drifter.
Yeah.
Or
You know,
like a
if you were a drifter,
idiot.
right? If you were a drifter, would you have a stinky beard?
No, but I'd roast people with stinky beards.
Yeah, true. That actually, that's you're preaching now, mate. That's big time.
All right.
In ram trucks.
Yeah, Dodge
The
Ram,
woods.
yeah. In the woods, yeah.
With
While
dog
you
shit on my
live-
feet.
Well, yeah, while you're scared for your life as well.
I mean,
Yeah.
skinwalker coyote shit on my feet.
Yeah, well, do you know what's funny as well? This guy is terrified for his life, and he wants to get in a car, and he's roasting the guy who's going to save his life. The last thing you do when someone goes, "Don't worry, I'll save you," is "Fucking hell, you're ugly." You know, you never say that. You never say. You never say. You never say. You never say. You know, right? When the people go, "Don't worry, I got you." You never go, "That fucking Adidas tracksuit is fake." You never do that. You never say. You know, you never say anything. You know,
A fake Adidas.
you know, you never say, right? You never say when they go, "Oh, don't worry, I'll catch you." You got dandruff. You never say that, do you? You never see anyone say that, right?
No.
So, yeah. Or you forgot your deodorant. You know, don't say that. Just don't say anything. Just the guy's a top class guy. Oh, thank you so much, but you've got dandruff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're the mum all of a sudden. Oh, did you know you've got this? You stink. Hello, stinky old man. Could you save me?
Please.
See you later.
Mm.
That stinky old man out of here.
What in the devil are you doing? Walk out here in the middle of the night. He asked. I could just as easy run over you right here, boy. The drifter leaned against the passenger door and spoke through the window. I'm just trying to find a good place to bed down for the night, but I got a little spooked by some noises a ways back. What kind of noises? I've been out here for hours trying to find Fluffy, and he is nowhere to be found. He's my pet, and I'm real worried about him. Maybe it was him you heard. Could be, the drifter said. It sounded
That's
like
the shit then.
it sounded like something walking through the woods just off the road. Do you think it could have been Fluffy? Don't rightly know. He likes people well enough. He might have been following you. I love that animal, but he can be as moody and downright cranky. That's why I'm out here. I spent a lot of time making Fluffy his favorite supper, and for some reason he got all uppity and wouldn't finish it. Nothing pisses me off more than that. He's real finicky about what he eats, and it takes dang near all day to get him ready for it. I am not about to let him get away with not eating it. I got so frustrated that I gave him a good whack with my walking stick. He yelped like a sick puppy and took off through the screen door. I've been yelling and looking for him ever since. Damn stubborn animal.
Don't get this confused, boys. Fluffy is by no means a dog.
I don't think.
Fluffy is a deer.
Okay,
I think he's the dead animal at the start.
you think so?
What was the dead animal?
So
He
those
just
are
said it was a. He just
fresh
said it was a
kill.
large dead animal. That's all he said.
Why would you know? It's like he talks so much about the old guy. He's like, oh yeah, and he's got bogey marks on his nose, and oh
Pokemon.
yeah,
Yeah.
got creases where he stretches his mouth to smoke, or you know, he's got indentation on his fingernails because he likes to work. You know, it's like he's got one finger missing because he used the vice wrong in 1946. You know,
Mhm.
it's like, but tell us about the animal. You know, maybe that's an important detail. You know, maybe that's what.
Stretch marks on his mouth from when he smokes.
Yeah, yeah, because he's an avid smoker. You know, well, I know that, don't I? But I don't know what the fucking dead animal was. You know, or the shit that he put his foot in. You
Mm.
know,
Blood's blood, isn't it?
well, blood. Well, yeah, but what is the animal? You know, what is the
Well, maybe we'll find
You
out.
saw blood.
large animal? Could be you, for all we know. You're a large animal.
Oh, fucking no.
I know, man.
He's a fucking warrior. And he's got stretch marks on his face from cigarette usage.
The drifter thought for a moment. He remembered the dead carcass that he had stepped in. He wondered if he should even tell the old man about it. Well, yeah, he should. Me personally, that's what I think. What if it's
I think he should say, "I've seen it. It's near that nice hotel that's down the road. That's really cheap.
Yeah.
It's near that one. Just take me there, and I'll show you." And then you take him in. You say, "I'll have room for one, right? This guy's been following me last 4 miles. Please to call the police."
Wow.
Night sorted. Night sorted. Yep, that's how you do it. You say, "Look at him, right? He's got a yellow beard. He stinks. I just want a room,
He
right?
beats his animals.
He beats his animals. Yeah, yeah, that's spot on. Yeah, yeah. He's got indentations on his fingernails because he incorrectly used the vice the other day. What does that say about him? You know? Look at me. I've got dog shit on my shoes. Untrustworthy.
Maybe that pile of blood and guts had been Fluffy. Not the kind of news you want to share in with a honked up old stranger on the back road in the middle of the night. He finally decided to tell the man that it was Fluffy. That if it was Fluffy, he needed to know. You know, he began, I ran across a carcass alongside of the road a mile back or so. Looks like a fresh kill. I hope that it wasn't Fluffy. Well, I kind of doubt it, the old man said. But what did it look like? It was a pretty good size, maybe like a German Shepherd or something like that. No, that wouldn't be Fluffy. He is nowhere near that size. He's much bigger. Something,
Told ya.
yeah, something plowed into the drifter's side. What? Something plowed into the drifter's side with the force of a freight train. His breath left him with a whoosh, and he found himself propelled repelled head over heels into the road in front of the pickup. He landed on his back, and he lay there trying to catch his breath, but there was no time. Something huge pounced upon his chest and began raking at his body with powerful slashes. The drifter's clothes offered little resistance to the razor-sharp claws. He could feel something panting his face. Its breath was hot, and it was dripping with some rancid drool that fell over the drifter's head and neck. For just a brief moment, he entertained thoughts of being able to escape, but the weight of the beast, as well as the ferocity of the attack, was too much. The last thought to pass through his mind was the horrible realization that he was being eaten alive. The old man slowly stepped out of the pickup truck and walked toward the beast in front of the truck. The lights on the truck illuminated the bloodbath that was occurring in the road. The beast was huge. It stood 5 feet tall at his shoulders, and it was covered in matted black and gray fur. Its face was almost reptilian in nature. With a long snout, it was covered in scales. 2 large fangs protruded from its side of its jaws, which the beast was ferociously using to rip chunks from the drifter's body. The old man watched for a few more moments, then slowly approached the beast. "Fluffy, there you are. I've been looking all over for you." The monster slowly raised its head, dripping with blood and gore, and warily eyed the old man. A low growl rumbled from a deep inside its throat. It seemed to recognize the old man, and its growling ceased. The old man stood and watched his pet continue to rip the drifter apart. After a few moments, Fluffy stopped, and as if he had done this many, many times before, it started to make its way towards the back of the pickup. The old man stepped in front of it and raised its walking stick. "Oh no, Fluffy, you don't go back there and eat. You know how upset I get when you don't finish your food." The end.
Well, it's obvious that, the whole time the old man was just setting him up
Mm-hmm.
for din-dins. That's why it's so hard to get the dogs from. Well, it's not a dog, but
Yeah.
get Fluffy food is because he's got to. Excuse me, mate. Excuse me, mate. Have you seen this dog? Okay. Anyway, see you later. He's on the floor, chins out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fuck that old man then.
Yeah.
Stinky breath, stinky beard.
Yeah.
Stinky armpits probably.
Yeah. Stinky
Stinky
everything.
dog. So yeah. Enough. What do you think of that story?
Very good, very good.
Yeah. What would you give that out of a 10?
Yeah, out of 10.
9.5.
9. Wow. I thought that was really good.
I give it a 4.
4. Yeah.
I give it a 4.
I give it probably
I give it
a 3.5. It was okay.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you enjoyed it so much.
Yeah. Easy to please though, aren't you, enough?
Easy to
please.
No, I'm hard to please. That was real good.
Oh no, I kind of don't believe you.
Yeah. Well, I think the truths were a bit disappointing.
Yes.
Because they were so hard to believe,
Mm-hmm.
and then also that it's not just that they were hard to believe, that they didn't have any, because I think you've got to have, with horror, you've got to have not just believability, but also a sort of shock factor. And if you can get that mix right, where you can have the believability to the maximum, but also the shock factor that then ties into the believability, that's great horror. I think with the Fluffy, hello Google.
Hi, Google.
Why does it just turn on at random times? Anyway, the one with the Fluffy one, I think that's ridiculous. No one's ever going to believe that. The Coyote one, I think that's an over-exaggeration. I think you're getting too far away from believability. And I think the shock factors, oh, it's a rabid dog. It's like, it's not that cool, it's not like that shocking.
Yeah.
And the first one with the deer was, I wouldn't say it was shocking. I would say it's a bit, it's humorous, a deer smashing its head on a tree. I think if you saw it in a film, you'd be a bit shocked.
Yeah.
Perplexed. You'd probably laugh at it the second time you watched it, but not the first time. The first time you'd probably be like, "What the hell?"
Mm-hmm.
It'd probably take you back a bit. But yeah, that's my ratings of those 3 movies. What's your verdict of the movies and all? What do you think?
Solid stories.
What? What?
What did he say?
What? You want to repeat that?
Solid stories.
Oh, okay.
Solid stories.
Solid
Okay.
stories.
Okay. That's a good opinion.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tucker? What's your verdict?
They could have been better, me personally.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
the way I decide is a little random. But
Yeah.
I know someone that really wanted me to read the first story, so I decided to pick a theme based on that.
That was probably the best, I think. You know, just because it was the funniest.
Yeah.
You know.
So,
So
yeah. No, they were okay. The second one was kind of shit. My own personal
well,
opinion.
I enjoyed them anyhow. I enjoyed them
Yeah.
anyhow.
No,
You know.
well, I always enjoy reading stuff
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
to you and
It's a good time.
enough and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to do it again. Uh, next time. So
Definitely. Yeah.
all right. Thank you, both of you, for joining me. It's been fun. I can't wait
Yeah.
for the next one.
It was awesome.